Hello and welcome to What's That Behind You. In today's video, we will be discussing possibly one of the most credible UFO sightings documented. Over the years, many people have claimed to have seen a UFO, but this sighting was documented by the US Navy. You may know this event as the 2004 Tic Tac incident.
And just turns abruptly and starts mirroring me. So as I'm coming down, it starts coming up.
Before we get into today's video, I would like to start with how exactly the military investigate such sightings. This has been a question I have asked myself on many occasions. The military investigates UFO sightings through a number of channels, depending on the circumstances of the sighting and the level of perceived threat. In the United States, the military's primary channel for investigating UFO sightings is the Aerial Phenomena Task Force, or APTF. The APTF was established in August 2020 by the US Department of Defense to, and I quote, improve its understanding of and gain insight into the nature and origins of UAPs. UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomena, are what the APTF is responsible for collecting data on. They analyze the data from military sources, including pilots and radar operators, as well as from civilian sources such as commercial airline pilots and air traffic controllers. In addition to the APTF, the military also investigates UFO sightings through its standard chain of command. For example, if a pilot reports a UFO sighting while on a training mission, the report will be investigated by the pilot's commanding officer and may be referred up the chain of command as necessary. The military may also investigate UFO sightings through its intelligence agencies, such as the Defense Intelligence Agency, or DIA, and the National Reconnaissance Office, NRO. These agencies are responsible for collecting and analysing intelligence from a variety of sources, including satellite imagery and signal intelligence, and may be involved in investigating UFO sightings that are deemed to be of strategic importance. It is worth noting that the military's approach to investigating UFO sightings has evolved over time. In the past, the military was often dismissive of UFO sightings and tended to attribute them to natural phenomena or human error. However, in recent years, there has been a greater willingness to investigate these sightings and to take them seriously as potential national security threats. Now that we know a small amount of information about how they look into cases, let's look at one of the most infamous cases. On November the 14th, 2004, a number of US Navy pilots on board the US Nimitz carrier strike group reported seeing an unidentified flying object while conducting training exercises off the coast of California. The incident has become known as the USS Nimitz UFO incident. The incident began when the USS Princeton, a Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser, detected multiple anomalous aerial vehicles, AAVs, on its radar system. The objects were described as flying at high speeds and performing maneuvers that were beyond the capability of any known aircraft. The objects appeared at an altitude of 80,000 feet and then rapidly descended to about 20,000 feet before disappearing from radar. The USS Nimitz was alerted to the presence of the AAVs and launched several FA-18 fighter jets to investigate. The pilots reported seeing a white oval-shaped object about 40 feet in length that was hovering about 50 feet above the ocean. The object then accelerated rapidly and disappeared out of sight. Another pilot reported seeing a disturbance in the water, as if something had just submerged. The pilots reported that the object had no visible means of propulsion, no wings or exhaust plumes, and was able to perform maneuvers that were impossible for any known aircraft. The incident was documented in an official report and was investigated by the US Navy's Aerial Phenomena Task Force. The incident gained widespread attention in 2017 when the New York Times published an article detailing the encounter and released video footage captured by the FA-18's onboard cameras. The pilots involved in the incident have since came forward to share their accounts of what they saw. Retired US Navy Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich has found herself in the glare of media attention. "I don't consider myself a whistleblower. I don't identify as a UFO person," the former fighter pilot told Reuters in a Zoom interview days before the report expected to feature her own experience and dozens of others like it was due for presentation to Congress. Dietrich and her then commanding officer, fellow pilot David Fravor, were asked by another warship to investigate radar contacts in the area moving in an inexplicable fashion. She recounted they first noticed an unusual churning of the ocean surface before seeing what she and Fravor have described as a smooth, white, oblong object, resembling a large tic-tac breath mint flying at high speeds over the water. When Fravor in his jet turned to engage with the object, it appeared to respond in a way that we didn't recognise, because it seemed to lack any visible flight control surfaces or means of propulsion, Dietrich recalled. The incident remains unexplained, and there is an ongoing debate about what the pilots actually saw. Some have suggested that the objects were advanced military technology, while others have suggested that they could be extraterrestrial in origin. However, at this moment in time, no definitive explanation has been put forward. But with all this going forward, and more incidents being unredacted, maybe there is some truth behind all of this. Or maybe the military has more up its sleeve than what it's laying on. Until the truth comes out though, we can only speculate. What do you think this was? Let me know down in the comments. We can discuss it further down there. I'm going to leave you with some of the footage now from the pilots. Let me know what you think. No matter what is flying around you, no matter what lights you see in the dark sky, you don't have to be afraid of what's behind you.
Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is the LNS, dude. Well, if there's like... Look at that thing. It's rotating. Nickel 6-1 Tango Logic, over. Oh, got it! Woohoo! Roger, there's troubleshooting. What the fuck is that? Did you box moving target? No, I took an auto track. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at that, man. Look at it fly!